Love Cosio is the founder of FB Community, author, host of Love Talks, and empowered mom. Whether she is on the go or spending time with her family, she gives everything, she does her all, and that is what makes her the inspiring individual that she is today.
Hi, guys, and welcome to another episode of In Love with Me, where we feature inspiring individuals who will share their amazing stories. I am your host, Mafae Velasco, and for this series, our topic is Finding Your Why. For this episode, we have an empowered woman, an author, a mom, host of Love Talks, and also an inspiring speaker to motivate us to take action. So without further ado, let me welcome the beautiful and amazing Love Cosio. Hi, Love.
Hi, Mafae. Thank you very much for that wonderful introduction. Made me tear up as well. Thank you.
Of course, you know, it's
Thank you
my
for
little
making me feel so loved today.
it's my little surprise for my guests. We want to make sure that the intro makes you smile even before you come on to share your inspiring life journey because I know that you will have a lot to share. And I have to firstly thank you for inviting me in your show, Love Talks. If you guys missed that episode, please go to Love's Instagram page. It's on her IGTV platform, and we had such an amazing conversation. That's why I wanted to continue that because it was bitin, meaning it was not, it wasn't enough. So, love for everyone out there. Of course, I know, a little bit of your background, but maybe you can share on how you are the empowered and inspiring woman that you are today.
Oh, yes. Thank you so much for that. I'm a wife and a mother of a 17-month-old daughter. I'm also a corporate speaker and a co-author of a book for married couples, Love Connected Couples Language to a Happy Marriage. And in 2017, Mafae, Drews, and I, my husband, started an FB community called The Cosio. That's where we create video contents for all the married couples, especially the Filipinos here and in different parts of the world. So yeah, that's the thing that we started doing along with serving in the ministry. And just recently, I started an IG live series. I actually didn't know why I did that, but I just felt like God was calling me to do something out of my boredom during this lockdown. And so I started the IG live series featuring women like this, like the platform that you just started. And so thank you so much for saying yes to that. So basically that's something that keeps me going, that keeps me so inspired every day to empower women like us.
Amazing. And I agree with you. I do feel as though that God really speaks through, things or life challenges to make us, be the strong pillar for others, right? So before, now that I know that you help, couples or husband and wives to make sure that their marriages really bloom. Before you were married, how were you as a woman? How is that story before you found your soulmate?
Oh wow. I never had a boyfriend before Drew, so I don't know if the viewers can relate. No boyfriend since birth. And so I grew up very dependent to my parents and to my family because I'm the youngest of four. And so I think most of my decisions were really dependent on what my parents would say, what my siblings would say. And so I took up a course that I really love. It's mass communication minor in broadcast journalism. And then I graduated with flying colors. I went up to one of the major networks here in the Philippines, and then my mom asked me to resign, all because I was earning just I think 8,000 pesos per month. And so at that time she said, "Okay, just resign because I think it's too much for you commuting from Santa Rosa to Kamuning." And so I of course I followed my mom, the pigeon daughter that I was, and so back then I was really focused on studying and then working and serving in the ministry. And it's in the ministry that I met Drew. So the moment that I met him, it was really a crush at first sight. So I began serving in the youth ministry, Mafae, because of Jews. I felt like, oh, Lord, sana ito na, sana it will be a chance for me to get to know someone who serves you, who loves you and respects his parents. And so I think basically I really found my singlehood boring because it was really routinary. But it's in the routinary life that I have, then I discovered that it was really God putting me in the life that He wants me to have, like a simple one, something that's pleasing Him. And before I got married, I just really loved discovering more about myself. But it was really a struggle for me as well because I want to do something, but I was too conscious of what people will say. I was too conscious about what my parents will say. And so the insecurities as a woman really crept in for the longest time.
Mhm. And speaking about that insecurities, thank you for being honest and sharing with everyone that you're only a human. And there are times that we have the off days, especially as women. So, how did you overcome those insecurities? I mean, the story that you just shared. And then, as a woman, when you do have an off day, how do you pick yourself back up?
It was a different a version of insecurity when I was still single, and then a different insecurity when I got married. So when I was single, I was very insecure of people, especially women who were thriving in their career. Because after leaving the media, I had to apply in an international bank and stay there for 8 years. So I was living a life that is really totally different from what I dreamed of. But I thrived in that area all because I was so competitive. So on days that I would really feel that, Lord, I feel like I really don't belong here, handling operations, handling money. But then I felt like I needed to be faithful. So in times that I was crying because I wanted my way out, I just
Mhm.
remained faithful. Throughout my insecurities, I felt like there are days I would just really look at the brighter side of things. And then Mafe, when I got married, it was really totally different kind of insecurities. You having 6 kids, waited for 4.5 years to have the blessing of a child. And so just imagine as a woman, you thought
Mm,
that when you get married and if you're so in love with kids, just like you, I know that you're really in love with kids. And that's also what I dreamed of. After I got married, I thought, hey, magbuntis na ako agad because I kept myself pure. I really obeyed God. But then no, after 6 months, what we experienced was a sickness of my mother-in-law. So just imagine the challenges that we had to face. And so
yes.
waiting season for 4.5 years really magnified my insecurities. Every time I see a pregnant woman
Mhm.
getting pregnant 1 year after another, it just really magnified, Lord, when will it be me? So I don't know if the women who will be able to watch this can also relate that
Mhm.
the insecurities that we have within us can really be magnified when we go out and compare ourselves with others in
Right.
our journey.
Yes, I agree with that. And thank you for seeing my love for my children because I feel as though they are blessings to me. And like I shared with you, everybody has a different life story or a journey. And for you to share that with me, it's really taking your guard down and just wanting to inspire other women who may be going through the same situation.
Yeah.
Just to go back to our conversation also when I was on your show is that I never actually thought that it was God's plan for me to become an instant mom without having to give birth.
Yeah.
And that was, that's something unique also. But I embrace it so much because, like you're sharing, it is tough. There are women out there that are having, insecurities and challenges of not even having a chance to have one child.
Yeah.
And so, for all the moms out there who are struggling right now, most especially during this lockdown, and everybody has, transferred the online learning, be patient because your blessings who are keeping you on your toes have also a limited time in your house,
Yeah.
right? You just never know. All of a sudden, from giving birth to them, they're 5 years old, 15, and then all of a sudden going to college, and it's just like, oh, when did the time go? So I just wanted to share that because Love was very honest about what her story was. And so, speaking of that, now that you have your beautiful blessing, how is it being a mom?
Wow. I really feel that this is the greatest miracle that I've experienced for the longest time. So yesterday I shared this on my Instagram stories that it was yesterday, 2 years ago, October 8th, 2018, when I found out that I was expecting a child, that I was pregnant. And I could just imagine because for the longest time, if you are a mom watching this online series with Mafae, that you experience taking pregnancy tests month or after long months and then finding one stripe instead of two. I experienced that. And so when Drews asked me, sige, let's have this pregnancy test already because I had my monthly period and then after that, nawala siya. So it was a different term now for the doctors. And so when I found out I was pregnant, I was really crying and I really had to ask him to buy a new kit just to make sure that it's really for real. And so fast forward now, every time I see Anya, it just really amazes me on how she's grown to be a very, very happy child. Every time people see her online, they would always say, she's such a happy baby. And we'd always, yes, she is. She's really a happy baby. And we're always grateful for this blessing that God has entrusted us. We know that we don't own her, but we're just so humble that God finally in his perfect time met the grace that we are praying for. So it's kind of a bit challenging now because we had to pivot the business. We had to handle ministry as well. But every day is a blessing with Anna.
Hmm. And it is true. You know, the kids are your inspiration, right? And I feel as though that's where you find strength, especially now. So, of course, God was introduced to you at an early age. And how important is that leading up to, your life now as a wife, as a mom, and, just being an inspiration to other women?
Yes, I started serving actually in college, unlike Drew. Drew started serving when he was just, I think, 13 years old. And can you just imagine growing up in a community? But I think now that I'm a mother, I would always strive to get to know God more because I want Anya to grow up knowing that she's loved, that she has a God that she can turn to, even at times that I would fail her, even at times that we as parents can fail her, or the people who she loves can fail her. But there is God who can really wipe her tears and just really know that she has assured that she is loved. And so I think that's the beauty of serving God in what ways that we can. You don't have to be a leader in the ministry to really pour out your relationship with Him. And so I think in all ways that we can have that deep and intimate relationship with God. And I think I'm reaping the harvest of serving Him. I'm reaping the harvest, getting to know Him more and more because I can apply the gentle parenting to Anya when at times I lose my patience, when at times I would really back up because I had so many things to do. And it really humbles me and
Hmm.
reminds me I have to slow down and prioritize the things that are really the top of priority. I think you can relate because having six kids na, di ba? Just imagine how you can do all these things.
Yes, and it is a tough job, having to deal with different personalities. I mean, that's one thing that I always teach my kids that even owning your own business, you have to really be a great leader because whatever I guess, the tone that you set identifies what the day will be, how people will react. So being a mom, they're watching nonstop. So whatever you do, it's like a domino effect, right?
Yeah.
So you have to always make sure that you are okay first and foremost, and then be honest. I think that's one thing that I appreciate with my husband is that we have the same values, which is we communicate what is real, what the reality is in the world, but of course we keep it, I guess, PG to the age group until they are allowed to really understand the certain situation. So, for you, having a daughter, I mean, I have one also, and it's different. Now I know what my mom used to tell me. Wait till you become a mom, and then you will understand my shoes. So what would be the advice that you want to give her, and it could be also an advice to your younger self on how to, I guess, have a comfortable and happy life.
Mm. I always see in Anya that she's very confident. Like she would run, she would not be so afraid to try out so many things. Because when I was young, I would be very, very scared of my mom because I think the way she parented me is totally different from what how I want to parent Anya as well. But I really honor my mom for doing everything for us for and so what I would want to tell Anya is that she can do the things that she wants to do for as long as it's pleasing God, for as long as she's not hurting other people. She can go
Mhm.
and try out new things that will maximize her potential. She
Yes.
doesn't have to be insecure. She doesn't have to be conscious of what other people will say, of the things that she wants to do in her life. Um, she she can do limitless things because if I will also talk to my younger self, that's also the same thing that I would tell love. That love, don't be conscious of what other people will say because you are just limiting your world to other people's world. And for as
Right.
long as you are serving God well, you are honoring your parents, but you are also following the path that you are meant to do, just keep on doing that because just imagine before I was really close every time people would ask me, what's your passion? Because I felt like I was a loser. I felt like, why am I here? What's the purpose of me living my dream and pursuing another path? And now I can just imagine how God is smiling at me and saying, I just purified your dreams. I just aligned you to the best way that you can serve God and serve other people through not the ego type, but really serving others. And so, if you are watching right now and you feel that you have so much regrets in your younger life, it's never too late. Just like me, I'm 33 and I feel like I'm starting again in the things that I love to do, even if I'm already a mom.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, every day is a new beginning. It's another chance to be a better version for yourself, for others. And like Love was saying, we are serving God this way. This is the way that He spoke to us is by reaching out to everyone online, which is I think is really an advantage right now, considering everybody is using their gadgets or looking for positive content to make sure that they're
Mm,
okay. So
yes.
speaking of that love, your husband and yourself created your community. So what would be, I guess, the challenges of a husband and wife right now, and what advice would you give them?
Right now, I guess not all couples are used to be spending time 24/7. Like they know they have their certain routine, like when they wake up, they will go to their office or go to their business. But now it's really like the world slowed down for us to really discover ourselves and really curate what needs to be um, let go of or the things that we need to keep in our lives. And so for all the married couples, I think the challenge that we also can relate to in this time of pandemic is that communication is really the key. If you are hurt, if you are tired, if you feel like you want to be loved in a certain way, please communicate that to your spouse because your spouse cannot guess anything that you want to tell him or her or that you want him to expect from you. And so I feel that this is the best time for you to reconnect with your spouse. This is the best time for you to fix the things that you have been in denial, or maybe you have been prolonging your agony to stop communicating or stop thinking or stop expressing yourself. This is the perfect time. I will always say this that if you are parents already, the best way that you can love your kids is to love your spouse. I'm saying this in the concept of married couples because it will be definitely a different scenario if it's a solo parent. And so if you're husband and wife, you have to accept first that you are a married couple. You already started out as a family, and whatever you have for each other will really overflow to your kids. And so please don't put this season to waste.
Mhm.
Communicate, verbalize your emotions, look beyond the weaknesses. I always say this, Matt. We started this 70-25-5 rule of Bruce, and the start of pandemic, so maybe it's something that can help married couples. 70% is to focus on the strengths of each other. So maybe for the longest time you've been magnifying the weakness of your spouse, but it's the perfect time now to renew your vow and focus on the 70% of the strengths. 20%, we say this, do new things together. Like, I think if you've been married for 20, 30 years, it's getting too routinary for you. You already know how to do the coffee of your spouse. You already know the scent that she wants. But doing things together, like watching movies or doing the dishes, cooking together, this was part of again the connection between you and your spouse. And then of course 5% in reality we cannot avoid weaknesses. So if you will have to discuss the weakness of your spouse or you as well, just have it like 5% and don't invert it, like do the 70% for the weakness and 5% for magnifying the strengths, because that will be a total chaos for the married couple. So I hope that can, I hope that can help, because I also learned that during pandemic that I had to magnify more the strengths of Jews more than his weaknesses, and it's also the same thing for me.
I think we did discuss that you have to actually be open, right? If you are open to being not even criticized, it's like a growth conversation. You
Yes.
have to what they your spouse wants to share with you, because obviously they're being honest, and I think they would be the best person to help you with that. Knowing that you have been married for so many years or been with your partner for quite some time, that you trust their judgment, and it's only growing together. um, I think I shared with you during our interview. I learned from a pastor friend of ours. They asked Nick and I, what do you think is the key to marriage, right? And we're like, trust, love, and it's kind of like, no, that's great answers. And I think they did a retreat. They do a retreat every year. They go, I think, to Hawaii or different places. So 1 week retreat. So what was taught with them was, first is that you have your friendship has to always stay strong. You have to be friends first, right? And when you're with your friends, um, there's no wall, right? You can say whatever, you can hang out, you can still get to know each other by asking questions or trying new things. The second one I always forget, I don't know why. But the third one, the final one, is that you have to have the same values. Do you agree with
True.
that?
Yes, true. It's so true. And it's
So
something that you can pass on to your kids.
right, exactly. So that's one thing that really stuck to both of us, because I think it's the same values, dreams, and goals. So you're obviously, we're meant to meet and be soulmates, and so with that said, God is allowing you to hold hands the whole way. Whatever
Yes.
it is, it's never turning your back on each other. It's okay, I agree with you, but then we can add on. It's always a yes, yes, and right. It's never no, I'm right or you're wrong kind of thing. Because I think that's what you were sharing, that um, there is also a certain language that you should understand from your partner, right? The love language. And
Yes.
speaking of love language, I love your name. So how did your mom come up with love? What is the backstory of that?
Um, I don't know. I mean, because I'm the youngest, so she just named me Love Lin. And my real name is Love Lin. So Lin, I think, came from my godmother. So she just
Mm,
put them together, Love Lin. But there's really a small story behind that. My three siblings, all of them have two names. So growing up, I was really envious because my name is just Lovely. So I would just write my name in the school, Lovely Miranda. And I always ask my mom, why did you name just Lovely? Why can't I have a second name? Kasi hindi na rin na alam ko ano yung sagot doon. But she just said, oh, but your name is beautiful because Lovely. So every time she calls me love, love. But when my mom is already angry, and I know that I did something wrong, she would call me Lovely. So, tapos na ako noon. I would say, oh, I think I did something wrong. I'd have to think again, ano nga ba yung ginawa ko? So, every time people ask me, so what's your name? I'll just say love. Love.
But anywho, every time I say your name, it always gives me, a spark of, positivity and joy. And I feel the love. And I'm sure that's the biggest reason why your mom called you love, because now your husband is lucky. He just calls you love all the time. And it has two meanings to it, right? And I'm sure your daughter will see that, how the positivity in your household is because of what your mom named you. I mean, to me, I think
Yeah.
names are very special. And I know that maybe she really tried to find something beautiful, considering that you're also the baby of the family. But
Mm.
moving forward, our topic for today is finding your why. So, can I ask you, please, what is your why and what inspires you to keep pursuing it?
Wow. That's a beautiful question, Ma. And it's for all of us. I think for the longest time, people will always ask, what is your why? And every time people ask me that, I would just say, I really don't know, but I just keep on doing the things that I love to do. I think for the longest time, I was trying to please other people in everything that I do. Like if it's something that will bring glory to my family, if it's something that will bring glory to the company that I am working for. But now I know that my biggest why is God. I don't know if it sounds too spiritual, but this pandemic really taught me, Matt, that you don't need everything in your life, but you just need to keep the things that are really essential in your life. So that's family, that's my kid, that's my ministry, that's also our business. And so my why would always be my purpose in life. And that's really to shine God's light. So every time I do this for my husband, I would ask myself, does it bring life to my marriage? And if it's yes, I would do it. If it doesn't bring life to my marriage, I'd stop doing it. Or if people always say yes to so many things, I'd say no. I say no to a lot of things. But if it gives me life, if it brings life to other people, I would do it. But if it brings a service to myself that it will magnify my insecurities, I'd stop and I say no. So I
Mhm.
think that the ultimate why right now is that I really want to shine God's light. But every time people will see me, they can say, I can do it as well because she's doing it. Without the
Amazing.
feeling, without the feeling that I am inferior or superior of others. I think di ba yun yung usual that we tend to compare ourselves with other people thinking that we are inferior or we are superior of others. And so looking within myself, that's something that I want to do. I will shine God's light without me comparing myself to others.
Amazing. I love that. And I am sure that your mom is very proud of you, your parents,
We're
you're
watching that right now.
Thank you for watching, Tita. I hope that you're very proud of your daughter because not only is she inspiring me, I'm sure She is also inspiring everyone who's tuned in, and for everyone out there who is still wanting to know more about love and her communities, her shows, and all the events that she has ongoing. Please do follow her on her social media handles, which I will have here on the caption, and it's also here on the ticker, available for you to check it out. And I'm sure Love is more than happy also to answer any of your questions, or maybe you have advice that you would like to ask from her. And also, Love, invite the audience on what you have going on and where they can find you.
Yeah, speaking, thank you so much, Ma, for this opportunity, for sharing your mission with me and to all the women out there. Speaking of the retreat, Bruce and I have been helping married couples since 2017, and it gave birth to a book that's Love Connect a Couples Language to a Happy Marriage. And just recently, we gave an online couples retreat to the couples in Qatar. And so after that, much discernment, we felt that we are called to minister to more couples here in the Philippines and in different parts of the world because it's borderless already. So if you are looking for an event, a retreat that will give you nourishment and fun filled at the same time, we will be having an online couples retreat on October 24. You can just message me on Instagram. That's Love Cosio. Thank you so much for showing that in the corner. Or on Facebook at the Cosio PH. You can just send us a message. The link is there. It's bit.ly/love connect retreat. And of course, to all the women, you can watch Mafae here on Facebook and in Kumu as well. On Instagram, you can also watch our previous conversation. I still also do online safe space for women. I decided to focus on the unheard stories of women, and so you can check that out on Instagram. That's MWF every 5 p.m. Philippine time.
Yay! And thank you, Lord. God is good for allowing us to share our stories and to share love today to everyone right now. I know there's a
Yes.
lot of women out there who are thankful, and also a lot of husbands who are also thankful to have treats that you are having. So, guys, please go and be part of the community, the Co Show PH on Facebook. And I will be there. I'll ask you about it after offline. Love. So again, thank you so much. And everyone, you know what to do. Actions speak louder than words. And thank you for tuning in this episode of In Love with Me. See you guys.
Bye. Thank you, Ma.
Thank you for watching and Love of Me series.